I have the wooden decks kit by Pontos that I'm going to be attaching to the plastic decks. So what I've done to start things off is mask off the plastic decking, and I've left exposed those parts that are going to be painted the gray color that do not have decking attached to them. So all around this this part here where there's going to be superstructure, and this will be the rear main gun. These are the gun tubs at the stern of the ship. These are where the airplane cranes are going to be. So I want all these to be gray, the same gray as the rest of the ship. So as you can see, I've masked that all off. Mainly using some printer paper that I cut to fit. I used my little circle template. There's all these different circles on it, and I used that to cut out the circles I needed to put around the main gun mount, and these gun tubs in the back, and the crane area. So that all I had to do was tape down the masking, and I'll just spray all that, spray all this, and then remove all the masking. And then once all the masking is removed off the deck and all the paper, as you can see underneath there is the plastic decking. This will I will clean all this plastic decking thoroughly with isopropyl alcohol. Get that thoroughly cleaned before attaching the wooden deck to it. That way there won't be any grease or dirt or whatever stuck to this plastic. Okay, so this is the stern of the ship that I've got masked off. Now I just have to do the same thing to the bow section of the deck. The bow of this ship, let's grab this bow piece right here. Here's the bow piece. The very, very bow, where the anchors are, is not decking. That's just going to be metal, steel, whatever it's made out of. The rest of it from the anchor, what are those things called that pull the anchors in and out? Can't remember what they're called. Anyhow, those are going to be, the name will come back to me. Those are going to be the area where the deck stops and the metal part of the ship begins on the deck here, on the bow. So all of this right here is going to get masked off in the same way I did the stern, so that I can just spray the areas that need to be gray. So that's what I'm going to do now. Included with the wooden deck set that I got from Pontos, there was some photo etch. And one piece of photo etch is this large piece that goes on the bow. It surrounds the area where the anchor chains are dragged across, and I laid it down and it looks really good, and I thought, yeah, this thing fits really good, I think maybe I'll use it. But then I saw this right there. The rectangular opening on the photo etch does not match the rectangular opening on the plastic part of the bow right there. See that? See how it's off? It's off quite a bit. So, what do I do? What do I do? Do I use this photo etch piece and modify those holes, these rectangular openings? Because it goes there. I looked in the instructions. Let's see, grab the instruction book here. And, sorry about that. On the bow, in those rectangular openings, are these two bollard tie downs. Right into those slots. And then behind that are some tie down cleats and some other various things. But those rectangular openings right there, they don't match up with the photo etch piece they gave me. And that's a shame, because this photo etch is a nice piece. I mean, it looks really detailed. Pretty cool. Without that photo etch, it's fine. It's just the plastic. It's not as much detail. This plastic is totally smooth right here, whereas the photo etch piece, let me put it back. As you can see, the metal is made up of kind of a large grid pattern. Gives it more detail, a lot more detail. So I gotta think about this. And as I was saying, if I do use this, I'm gonna have to modify that section of the plastic deck underneath there. Maybe trace it and cut it out. And do a little filling with putty and a little sanding and make it work. Anyhow, there's always something, isn't there, with these models? Always something that doesn't quite jive. I'll figure it out. Okay, I have been working with these two photo etch pieces that go on the bow, the deck on the bow, and I had to open up this rectangular shaped hole more, and I had to open up this one, actually move it from there. I had to move it over and make a new hole. Now it doesn't matter if these holes look ragged. Once the photo etch part fits on there, it lays down just fine. It looks good. And then this centerpiece here, this is the part where the anchors lay. That fits down in the middle. In there. The only tricky part I see about putting this down is gluing it. I will use CA glue, but it's a pretty large surface, so I'm assuming I'm going to have to, kind of like brush it all on here and then lay this photo etch down. It'll be interesting. I hope I can get it to work right. Here are the braces that go inside the hull. There's 3 of them. 2 big and 1 kind of smallish. And I just had to point this out. In the Yamato kit that I'm working on also, the nameplate is totally blank, nothing on it. Here's the Iowa's nameplate that comes with the kit. 1944 Leyte Gulf USS Iowa. I'm not sure if we're going to use this or not, but Sometimes I use nameplates, sometimes I don't. Depends on how well they were done. This one, you know, it would have been nice if they put something here, like some kind of a, you know, decoration, like an anchor or something. And maybe down here also. Maybe I can add that to it, spruce this thing up a bit. Yeah, so at least there's a nameplate. I think it's still, I'm still scratching my head over the Yamato's nameplate, where it is totally blank and you just have to come up with your own name to put on there. So anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and put these braces on now. Right, here are the braces in the hull. They lined up pretty well. I had to do a little bit of sanding on the top portion of them right here because there was a seam, a raised seam right there. So they fit pretty good. I'm going to now test the decks to see how they fit on top of these things, how they fit inside the hull. And then once I'm satisfied with how they're fitting, I'm going to go ahead and start laying the wooden deck onto them. Here's the rear deck all ready to go. I've got the gun tubs and these the bases of those where the cranes go, the rear turret area, some places around the superstructure. Painted those all the gray that I want to use, the main gray of the ship, and the wooden deck's going to get laid down on top of this. First thing I'll do before I do that is clean off this whole deck area with some absorbable alcohol. Make sure it's grease free, free of dirt. Let that thoroughly dry and then proceed to lay the deck down. So here we go. The rear deck, the rear half of the deck fits the hull perfectly. It sets on top of these braces perfectly. So far, it's looking pretty good. So what I need to do now is grab the bow portion of the deck. See how it fits on. So give me a sec here and I will check that out. The forward section of the deck also fits really well. I have to keep my hand on it right there because it's a tight fit, but it fits just right. And yeah, no problems here. I let go of it, it tends to pop up, but it does fit really well. All right, good. I'm happy with that. I've started putting the wooden deck on the stern section, or the stern half of the deck, and this is a bit tricky. I was able to get it down okay. Putting these wooden decks on is always tricky. They were hard to do on the 350 scale ships I've built. On this 200 scale, it's a little even more trickier. Just because at this scale you're dealing with a really huge piece of wooden decking, and the only way I was able to really do it safely, if you will, is I actually took this wooden deck and I sliced it in half. You have to get up real close to it to see where I had sliced it and put it back together. That way I put in one section at a time. Basically this section right here first, then I put this section on right here. Kind of sliced it down where the turret is here. But like I said, you can't tell hardly. And You look close enough, you could see it. But once you get everything on the deck, do a little more weathering to it, perhaps. You will never notice. So a few more details to do in this wooden decking. This little edge piece right there has to come off, and and then it'll be ready to go. So yeah, this is kind of fun for me to do this. I love the way these wooden decks look. Now, I've heard of some people with the Missouri kit and this one, the Iowa, they put these wooden decks down and they kind of stain them blue. I don't know that I'm going to do that. I'm thinking of just leaving it this way. I haven't decided yet, but anyhow, there she is. The forward deck has the wooden decking placed on it, and it came up pretty good. It's a pretty good fit. There's a few wonky places here and there. There's a little bit of a fitting issue there. It doesn't quite line up with that. The breakwater goes. But that will get all covered up with the breakwater parts, pieces. Okay. Alright, well, it's coming along. Next thing I will be doing is... Oops. I will be putting this on. As I said, attaching this to the main hull part.